What if Tanjiro activated the Demon Slayer? Mark in episode 1, so let's jump right into this video. We're starting from the very beginning. Tanjiro heads out to sell coal, leaving his family behind for the night. On his way back, he's stopped by an old man who warns him that demons roam the mountains at night, convincing him to stay over until morning. When Tanjiro finally returns home, tragedy strikes. His entire family has been massacred. The only survivor is his sister, Nezuko, but she's been turned into a demon. As Tanjiro struggles to process this, Giyu Tomioka appears. Just like in the original timeline, they clash, but this time, everything is different. In this version of the story, Tanjiro is born with the Demon Slayer mark, the same kind his father had, and similar to Yoriichi's. This isn't the kind of mark that shortens your lifespan to 25. Instead, it's a hereditary mark, granting him all the enhanced abilities, the transparent world, boosted strength, speed, and heightened instincts right from the start. So, even though Tanjiro was born with the Demon Slayer mark, this is still weak Tanjiro. At this point, he doesn't know any breathing styles. The only things he's ever done are chopping wood and hauling coal. He has no real combat experience, so when he first clashes with Giyu, he still loses. But Giyu notices something strange. Tanjiro is clearly stronger than an ordinary person, even though he has no training. He doesn't know it yet, but the Demon Slayer mark is giving him enhanced strength and instincts. Still, nobody understands what it really means at this point. From there, the story moves on like the original. Giyu sends him to train under Sakonji Urokodaki, the former water Hashira. Tanjiro learns water breathing, but here's the catch. Because of his black blade and Demon Slayer mark, water breathing is a terrible fit for him. After Tanjiro finishes his water breathing training, he heads to the final selection. Because of his Demon Slayer mark, he already has access to the transparent world and all its benefits, so he cuts through the demons fairly easily. Next comes the arc where Muzan is first revealed, and let me just clear this up. People always ask what happens when Tanjiro meets Muzan for the first time. Honestly, nothing really changes here. The only difference is that with the transparent world, Tanjiro can now see Muzan's 5 hearts and everything inside him. But that doesn't matter in this moment. Tanjiro still can't fight him. There are too many people around, and it would be impossible to battle Muzan in that crowded place. If we tried to make him fight right there, it'd just turn into a bad what if. So the story continues the same way as the original timeline. Now let's get into the Drum Demon arc. I don't know if that's the exact name, but this is the part where we meet Inosuke and Zenitsu. Tanjiro ends up fighting the Drum Demon, but since he already has the Demon Slayer mark, the fight goes by much easier. With his boosted speed, strength, and the transparent world, Tanjiro takes him down without too much struggle. After that, we move forward into the mountain with Rui, the Lower Moon 5. Now Zenitsu stays back because he's scared, but later he ends up facing the Spider Demon. Meanwhile, Tanjiro and Inosuke run ahead and help the other Demon Slayers defeat the Mother Demon. After that comes the Dad Demon. This time, they have a way better chance. Tanjiro is able to see right through him with the Demon Slayer mark and the transparent world, realizing that the Dad isn't really a true demon. He's controlled by Rui's threads. That means cutting off his head won't kill him. With that knowledge, they finish the fight much quicker, since the Dad Demon's raw power doesn't work on Tanjiro the same way. After that, Inosuke heads off on his own, and they split up. Tanjiro ends up facing Rui alongside Nezuko, setting the stage for their battle against the Lower Moon 5. This time, Tanjiro is much stronger, so Rui actually takes him more seriously. At first, Rui is still confident and doesn't see him as much of a threat, but that quickly changes once Tanjiro begins using Hinokami Kagura, sun breathing. With the combination of sun breathing and the Demon Slayer mark, Rui is completely overwhelmed. Tanjiro dominates the fight, and unlike the original timeline, Rui is killed directly by Tanjiro's blade. When Giyu arrives, he doesn't need to step in or save him. Lower Moon 5 is already defeated, and honestly, the reason why the original creator probably had Giyu land that kill was because defeating a Lower Moon demon is often seen as one of the requirements to become a Hashira. But here, it doesn't matter. Even though Tanjiro has the power and the mark, he's too humble to accept the position. He admits he's still not strong enough to be a Hashira, and to be fair, he's really not there yet. Now let's get into the Hashira meeting. The big question is, why is Tanjiro traveling with a demon? This time, when they hold him down, Sanemi tries to stab Nezuko, but that never happens. Instead, Sanemi underestimates Tanjiro, and Tanjiro lands more than just a headbutt. They actually start fighting until the master shows up. The master explains that Nezuko is under our ranks with Giyu Tomioka, the former water Hashira. Urokodaki also stands up for them, so Nezuko is officially accepted into their ranks. Now, let's move on to the Mugen Train arc with Rengoku. And now they go on the Mugen Train with Zenitsu, Inosuke, Nezuko, and Rengoku. They all board together. They fall asleep from Enmu's trap, wake up again, and then Rengoku starts covering the train with Zenitsu and Nezuko. Meanwhile, Tanjiro and Inosuke head to the front of the train to defeat Lower Moon 1, Enmu. This time, it's way easier for them to find his neck, because Tanjiro has the transparent world. He can see through everything and pinpoint the exact spot for him and Inosuke to slice. They defeat Enmu, and Tanjiro doesn't get stabbed. After that, they try to help Rengoku, but Rengoku tells them to stop because he'd only slow them down. Sadly, Rengoku still dies to Akaza. They return home, mourn his death, train again, and then move on to the Entertainment District arc with Tengen Uzui. So, they go into the Entertainment District arc, and everything basically happens the same until Tanjiro fights Daki. This time, Tanjiro actually manages to cut off her head, but then the real problem shows up. Gyutaro, the true Upper Moon 6. Tengen jumps in to help Tanjiro, while Inosuke and Zenitsu take on Daki. Since Tanjiro already has the Demon Slayer mark, Tengen can awaken his in the middle of the fight too. With that boost, the battle goes way easier for them. Tengen never loses his arm this time, and they finish the fight much faster. Now, some people might say Tengen would still retire after this battle, but think about it. Would he really retire when the final fight with Muzan is still coming? Still, since a lot of people want it that way, let's just say he does retire after the Entertainment District arc and goes to live with his wives. But he does come back later for the Hashira training arc. Now we got the Swordsmith village arc. Tanjiro goes there because his sword is chipped, and he hasn't gotten a new one in a month. After waking up from his coma, he heads to the village and meets Mitsuri and Muichiro. After all that, Upper Moon 4 shows up and the fighting begins. Muichiro gets blasted away to go fight Upper Moon 5. This time, Tanjiro is way stronger since he has the Demon Slayer mark. Nezuko gives him the red blade, and now he's more trained with Hinokami Kagura, which is sun breathing. With all that, he blows through the clones of Upper Moon 4 and goes straight for the main body. Meanwhile, Muichiro's fight plays out basically the same as the anime. He unlocks his Demon Slayer mark, defeats Upper Moon 5, and wins. Afterward, he gives Tanjiro his new sword to finish the battle. Then, Mitsuri arrives at the village to help Tanjiro. She holds off one of the fake bodies, while Tanjiro goes for the real one. From here, it basically happens the same as the original timeline, only Tanjiro is way stronger and can see everything with the transparent world. Now we move into the Hashira training arc. Now the Hashira training arc goes totally different, because Tanjiro already knows the Demon Slayer mark. At this point, we got 3 people who really understand it. 2 Hashira and 1 retired Hashira. Mitsuri doesn't really know much about it, but Mushiro knows absolutely everything. How to control your temperature, how to awaken it, how emotions tie into it, and all that. Then we got Tengen. He adds his own input, especially since Tanjiro has been living with the Demon Slayer mark since birth. So instead of just training, Tanjiro starts teaching people how to unlock it too. One of his main goals here is figuring out how to evolve his mark into something greater, stretching across his forehead, something even stronger. And then there's Gyome. Gyome is actually a huge help because his training focuses on channeling emotions into the Demon Slayer mark. That balance between Muichiro's technical mastery, Tengen's experience, and Gyome's emotional strength gives the core the best possible foundation before the final battle. But now, Muzan makes his move. He wipes out the Ubuyashiki family and then activates his trap, pulling everyone into the Infinity Castle. Now we move into the Infinity Castle arc. And now this time, all the fights are basically the same, but Tanjiro and Giyu versus Akaza, Upper Moon 3 Doma versus Shinobu, Kanao, and Inosuke Kokushibo versus Gyome, Genya, Muichiro, and Sanemi. So let's go over Tanjiro and Giyu versus Akaza. And now this fight goes super fast since Tanjiro has the transparent world and the selfless state. He uses that to kill Akaza way sooner than in the original timeline, with Giyu holding him off until Tanjiro lands the final blow. Tanjiro slices off Akaza's head, and Akaza accepts his fate, reuniting with his wife as they go to hell together. Now, this is where the timeline changes. In the original, the Ubuyashiki head of the family said that they could have sent Tanjiro and Giyu to the Upper Moon 1 battle, but thought they had done enough already. This time though, Muichiro is just starting his fight with Upper Moon 1, so Tanjiro and Giyu actually show up since they finish Akaza much faster. They step in to help Muichiro, and then Gyome and Genya arrive as well. With all of them fighting together, this time, Muichiro and Genya survive. The battle is still brutal, but it goes smoother, and Tanjiro helps bring closure to Kokushibo, making him realize he was wrong all along, and that he should have been proud of his younger brother. So, with the Upper Moon 1 fight done, now it's time to move on to Upper Moon 2, Doma. Now the fight with Doma basically ends the same since no one is there to help Shinobu. She still dies, and Kanao and Inosuke finish Doma off using her poison. Next are the side battles. Zenitsu goes up against Kaigaku and defeats him, just like before. Then we have Nakime, the Biwa woman, who fights against Mitsuri, Obanai, and Yushiro, the kind demon who paints portraits of Tamayo. Together they defeat Nakime and take control of the Infinity Castle, at least until Muzan kills her. With all of that done, we now move into the Sundown Countdown arc. Let's get into it. Now with Tanjiro using the Demon Slayer mark, knowing more about sun breathing, the transparent world, and the selfless state, he actually destroys Muzan in this timeline. After all the Hashira get caught in that huge blast, Tanjiro and Obanai start fighting him him and manage to defeat him a little faster than in the original timeline, but not by much. Most of the Hashira die, and the only ones who survive are Muichiro, Giyu, and Sanemi. After the battle, the rest of the Hashira finally perish. The only real happy ending is that Muichiro gets to live longer past age 25, even though he still has the Demon Slayer mark. In the end, they all live happily. And YouTube wants you to click this video because it's the best one you're gonna watch today.